So yesterday, Chief Justice Roberts issued a very rare rebuke, stating that you-know-who calling for the impeachment of a federal judge again that he disagrees with is not appropriate. So he responded to the rebuke last night on Fox News. Take a look.
He didn't mention my name in the statement. I just saw it quickly. He didn't mention my name, but many people have called for his impeachment, the impeachment of this judge. I don't know who the judge is, but he's radical left. He was Obama appointed. That's a presidential job. That's not for a local judge to be making that determination.
Are there circumstances where you would defy a court order?
Well, I think that, number one, nobody's been through more courts than I have. I think nobody knows the courts any better than I have. I would say the chief judge does. I never did defy a court order.
And you wouldn't in the future?
No, you can't do that. However, we have bad judges. We have very bad judges. And these are judges that shouldn't be allowed. I think at a certain point, you have to start looking at what do you do when you have a rogue judge?
Oh, my Lord.
Many people.
I don't even know what to say. If he
people.
didn't mention your name, how do you know who he's talking about? You don't say stuff like that. It doesn't make sense. And you're clearly targeting judges. You are. You know, you're saying there's bad rogue. There's bad rogue everywhere. Don't have us point out all the bad and rogue that we see. But stop, you know, this is their job. They went to school for this. They went and learned how to do this. This is what they do for a living. And there's no presidential judges, sir.
But he doesn't want any judge to go up against him.
Yes, but, you know, but that's not how the judiciary works. Judges work for the law. They're there to tell you what is right and what isn't. Not just president, but everybody.
But, you know, there are those supposedly three co-equal branches of government.
I remember that vaguely.
Right?
Who is it?
In civics, the judicial branch, the executive branch, and the legislative branch.
Okay.
And so the judicial branch is telling the executive branch, you cannot impeach a judge for this. Judges have been impeached. The last federal judge was impeached in 2010.
Because they disagree.
But not for this, because you disagree.
Right.
But I think what people are really missing here, and what's most important, is not what Justice Roberts said. It's what he didn't say. Justice Roberts was responding to the fact that there was a federal judge in court that told the Trump administration, you cannot let those planes leave the United States with a group of people that may or may not be undocumented, may or may not be criminals, but they are immigrants. Leave the planes on the ground. There was one plane on the ground. One was already in the air. When a federal judge tells you to do something, you do it. The judge said, turn the plane around. Mm-hmm. They did not. Those people are in El Salvador, I believe. There was a woman, a doctor, who was sitting on the tarmac who helps children and works on kidney transplants. They flew her out of this country. Okay. What Justice Roberts could have said is, you have to follow a judge's orders. Bring the planes back. He did not do that.
But would a justice comment on a case that didn't come before him normally?
Yes, he can, just like he commented about the impeachment.
Well, he was commenting, though, theoretically on we don't have Obama judges or Trump judges.
He could have said, follow the judge's order.
This is still being adjudicated in the courts, though, because I think that this, Justice Roberts has done this on a number of occasions. He did it to Trump in 2018. He did to Schumer. He called him out in 2020. And then again, and this is still a pending case. I do think the Trump White House has gone right up to the line of defying the federal courts here, but it's still within the confines of the court.
They went over the line.
This is still being adjudicated, though. They're still actively, DOJ is filing cases. They're responding.
People are in another country.
I'm not speaking specific. I'm talking about the legal parameters. This is still being adjudicated in the courts. And I would caution this. A lot of folks are saying this is a constitutional crisis. Be wary of being the boy who cried wolf.
I'm going to cry wolf.
Wait until it is black and white. Wait until it is black and white. And the White House has done something that the courts don't even have the capacity to rein them back in and be prepared to call it out so the American people actually believe it. When everything is a five-alarm fire, nothing is.
It is a five-alarm fire.
This Justice Roberts is what they call a day late and a dollar short. He's responsible for Citizens United, which brings us Elon Musk. He's responsible also, he and his cohorts, some of them, I believe, certainly Thomas and Alito, for giving immunity to the president. And now he's trying to roll back the tape and say, see, I'm not that bad. Watch him.
No,
He's a slippery character,
But the problem
this one.
with what you just said
Yeah.
is he gave Trump criminal immunity, blanket
yeah.
immunity. What happens when you defy a judge's order is that you end up in jail. The judge goes, I hope you can make your bail.
Yeah.
Guess what?
He can't.
No Trump official who has, like the border czar, like Stephen Miller, they're saying, we don't care about the judge's order. None of them are being called to task. None of them are being put in contempt.
So
while
is
you
it-
may
is the
think that
better-
it's still going on, it's not.
But
We
to
have
make sure
reached
we're
the
being accurate, the
constitutional
White
crisis.
House has said that they're not going to defy the courts. We will see, but we should be
Yeah,
on the
but
record
we
that they
don't.
have
How
said
long was
that.
it?
But I
A
just
week?
think
Tom Homan said, we are not stopping. I don't care
think
what the judges do.
that I am
And the White
going
House has
to
said
I'm going to err on the side where the glass has something in it, because
I'll drink to that.
I feel like if I just give it up and say, you know, yeah, it's done, it's finished, then people will think that it's done and it's finished, and it's not. It is not done and finished. And again, I'm going to say to us, we do it every day. We have these discussions every day. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But we're talking about it and we're bitching about it, and that's what y'all have to do. That's what you have to do as the people who are being affected by all of this. This is affecting all of us.